Hello everyone, welcome to the computer network classes. I am Mohd Ashfakul Hasan, Assistant Professor, the Department of the Cybersecurity, DS and AIDS. So today we are going to discuss about the computer network basics. So as it is a first class, we are going to discuss the basics of the data communication. In the future classes, we are going to discuss detailed and in-depth knowledge of the computer networks. So today the data communication is where the data will be get transmitted between the two or more devices, and this is about the definition of the data communication. The transferring the data over the transmission medium between the two or more devices systems or the places is known as a data communication. Nowadays, the computing and the telecommunication depends heavily on this data transmission, which makes a variety of the application convincible, including the emails and video chatting and internet and more things. Now this is the era of the artificial intelligence and the machine learning, where the data communication is been more important and the data is been playing a vital role while establishing a generative AI or the agentic AI, or if you have been doing the analysis on the data. So this data communication has been very much important in nowadays. So what exactly the data communication is and what are the components we required to perform a data communication? So as it has been mentioned earlier, that exchange of the data or the information between the two or more devices through a transmission medium is called the data communication. So in this process, we require a data communication components, and these components are very much important for the establishing the connection between the two devices and to transmit the data from the one device to the other device. It might be anything. Either these devices might be the computers or any other data communication devices or through the internet. So these are the main components we require for the establishing of the data communication. First one is the sender, the person or the system which has been the data will be available, or this is like where the sender is as a client or any system. It will be sending the data to the destination. Second thing is message. The message might be any kind of the message. It might be the text or the image or the audio or the video or any kind of the number or anything else. So that the data will be get transmitted, that is called the in the form of message. Third is the transmission medium. So where the transmission medium will plays a vital role, where we have a guided and the unguided mediums. One is the guided is nothing but the wide transmission medium, or the unwired wireless, or you can say it is a wireless transmission medium. So in the guided mediums, we will be having a twisted pair cables. So different types of the cables available are the coaxial cable or the fiber optic cable. And in wireless or the unguided medium, we will be having a radio waves or the microwaves or the infrared, where the data will be get transmitted through this particular medium. We require any kind of the medium where the data will be get transmitted from the source to the destination. Fine. Fourth is your receiver, where the destination system or the server which has been ready to receive the data through the transmission medium. And fifth is very important, which is called the protocols. The protocols are nothing but the rules and regulations while establishing the connection between the two devices. As we know that when we try to communicate with the other people in any of the language, we will be having some certain rules and regulations to be get followed. In any of the language, if you take the English language or something, so we will be having a concept called the syntax, where we will be having some certain rules to be get followed to frame a sentence. So when the communication has to be get established between the two people, we have to follow the rule of the syntax so that the people can understand, or we follow the rules and regulations. Similarly, in the data communication, in the networking, we require the protocols to establish a connection between the source and destination. At every level of the your data communication, these protocols are very important. So set of rules and that govern data communication, which is nothing but a format, timing, flow control, or the error control. Okay, so the protocols rules governs the communication. So that is what the main importance of the protocols. Okay, as we have discussed earlier, that these are the components for the data communication: sender, message, the transmission medium, or the communication channel, we can say, the receiver, and the set of rules and rules and regulations. That is nothing but the protocols. Now, what are the characteristics of the effective data communication? How you can say that the data communication will be get established by these components and this is effective, or how you're going to judge, or how you're going to scale them on the basis of the transmission medium. So that is nothing but, first one is the delivery. These are the basic characteristics of the data communication. First one is the delivery, second is accuracy, then third is your timeliness and the jitter. So what is delivery? Data must reach the current destination. So this is the first and the foremost thing. When you are saying that data has been communicated, or the data communication has been established, to say that, we will say that delivery of the data to the destination is been the first and foremost thing. Second thing is accuracy. Even though the data has been reached to the destination, but there is no accuracy in the data communication, then it is also get failed. So the second characteristic is the data must be accurate and error free. Then only we can say that the data communication has been established. Third one is the timeliness. Even though the data has been delivered and it has been accurate, but it is reached after 1 hour, or after 2 hours, or after 15 minutes, then it is not the effective data communication characteristics. For third one is the timeliness. The data must reach on time. Then only we can say it is a good data communication has been established. And the fourth one is the jitter. Jitter is nothing but is a violation in packet arrival time, and lower jitter gives the better quality. It is nothing but it's some kind of traffic while the data transmission has been transmitted. So we will be going to check whether the packet has been arrived on time. As we know that the data has been get divided while transmission, the data will be get transmitted in the divided into the form of packets, and each and every packet will be having their sequence number. Based upon the sequence number, when it reaches to their destination, it will be forming the sequence of those packets, and it will make a complete message. When you have seen, when you have been watching a live cricket match, when the data is been get transmitted, some of the times the screen will be get scrambled. So when it is been get scrambled, what does it mean? Some of the packets have been lost while the transmission of the data. So when these packets have been lost, that packet doesn't reach to the destination. So for that reason, it will be get scrambled for some seconds or the nanosecond or less than that. So that is what the jitter is all about. It is going to make sure that these packets have been arrived in the sequence or on time. So that is what fourth characteristics of your data communication. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about what is the representation of the data, how the data will be get represented, so that all the types of the data are converted into the binary, whatever it might be the data is, either it is a text, a number, image, audio, video, whatever it might be. This particular data will be get converted into the binary format. As you know that the computer or the communication channels only understand the zeros and ones, high and low. You can see this. So these signals will be get understood by the communication channel or the computers when it is been reaching to the destination end. It will be forming these sequences of zeros and one, and with the destination it will be combined together. It makes one proper information. Fine. So this data can be represented in the text format. You can see that the collection of the characters, when you have been representing a data in the text format, how your data will be get converted. So the collection of the characters, numbers and the symbols, so that will be having one ASCII code. What is the ASCII code? ASCII is nothing but American Standard Code for the information interchange. There will be one format or one standardization has been considered while the data transmission has been get done. So that is nothing but the ASCII. Whenever you have been pressing the A, your system will not understand the A. It will be converting that A value into the number, then the number will be converted to the binary format. That binary format digits will be considered as a information. So that will be get understood by your computer system. So those binary format will be in the high or low sequence. So that will be get understood by your computer system. So one is the character A will be the ASCII value for the A is capital A. And again, the capital A and small A will be having a different numbers. So that will be converted as a 65 and small a will be converted as a 97. These 65 will be converted to the binary format. That binary format will be get understood by your computer system. So in the same way, if you have been representing the numbers or the special characters or your @ symbol, a hash, what it might be, or you have been taking the different languages. Now the ASCII has been replaced by your other representations that can include all the other languages. Okay, so that is your conversion of your text. Next, numbers. Again, the numbers will be having their own binary number, and the binary number will be get converted into the signals. Next, the image are represented by the pixels. So these pixels are nothing but the picture position on the screen. So that particular pixel will be having their own position where the color coding or the color will be get represented. Okay, based upon those combination of the colors RGB, that will be going to make one pattern over there. Based upon the pattern, it will be make it as an image. Similarly, we will have audio. The sound is converted into the digital samples, and that is nothing but again the 0 and 1 format, the binary format. And you can say the videos also. The videos is the sequence of the images, the frames. Again, the frames will be get converted into the pixels. Again, the pixels will be making the combination of all these particular images becomes the video. Okay, so this is how the data will be represented in your data communication or the internet. Okay, so these are the basics what we have discussed, and we can say that what is the type of the communications. The next topic is what is the type of the communications we'll be having. So when we have been saying that when the two people are exchanging the information or they have been talking with each other, how they have been communicating with one another. So in your computer networks or the data communication, we will be following certain ways of data communication. So that is the types of the data communication. You can see this. The data communication refers to the process of the transmitting and receiving the data from one device to the other through the communication medium based on the direction of the data transmission between the communicating devices. And the data communication is classified into three types. First one is your simplex communication. It is nothing but it is a one-way communication, or we can say that the unidirectional communication. Okay. Second one is here, we will discuss it with an example over here. Next, the half duplex communication. It is a two-way communication, or we can say that it is a bidirectional communication in which both the devices can send and receive data but not at the same time. We can exchange the data between the two-way communication, but what we are able to do, at one time one person can send and one person can receive it. The next, full duplex, where the communication happens bidirectional. Okay, so these are the different types of the data communication. You can see here the simplex mode is nothing but with an example where the communication is in one direction only. We will be receiving the signals from the TV towers to the TVs. So where only we can receive, but we can't send the information to the your TV tower. isn't it? So this is TV broadcasting or the radio broadcasting or the keyboard or the CPU, where we have connected the keyboard to the computer system where you can typing the information, but can we receive any information from the monitor or the system? No. So that is a one-way communication only. That is called the simplex mode. Next is half duplex. You might have seen the walkie-talkies where the people will be talking with one another by saying that over. After over, the other person will be again sharing the information with the code in the code language or communication way. Okay, so that is nothing but the half duplex communication in the both directions, but one direction at a time. One is going to receive it, one is going to transfer it. After completion, it says over, then only the other person can send the information to the other person. Okay, so that is what the half duplex mode. And third is your full duplex mode, where the mobile phones, where the people can talk with one another, full communication with the bidirectional, or there is no loss of the data over there, and there is no particular loss of information will be there. So you can say the examples like telephone cells, or the mobile phones, or the video conferencing, everything will be considered as a full duplex mode. So these are the data flow which has been happened in your data communication, which is refers to the directions in which the data travels between the two devices. Okay, so you can see this examples over here, where while the transmission is been happened with the help of the protocols, the rules and regulations over there. Okay, you just go through it once, you'll understand it. Next is the computer networks and network topologies. Network topologies is nothing but the computer networks is a collection of the two or more computers and the devices. When you have been connecting the multiple devices or the computers to one another, it becomes the computer network. Okay, and but how this connection has to be get established, how we can able to connect these multiple systems or the multiple computers to make it as a computer network. Okay, so the communication links to share data and resources and information. So these computer networks will be connected to one another in a way that it will be get transmit the data between them. So what is the purpose and what is the advantage of the computer networks? It is a resource sharing. If you wanted to share any resources like file or printers or the internet, or it might be, so if it will, for the sake of the sharing the resources, we will be using the computer networks. And what is the communication? Communication is nothing but email, chat, video, or conferencing. That is one of the advantage or the one purpose of establishing a computer networks. Next, data sharing and centralized management. So one advantage is you will be sharing the data, or you will be maintaining one centralized server where the data access can be happened easily. Okay, and cost effective and improves the reliability. So to implement the cost effectiveness and improve the reliability of the data transmission, we will be implementing the computer networks. Next, increase the performance and efficiency. As you know that all computers can't be able to perform similarly. Some of them are the servers, are the high-end servers, which does have the GPUs and all high-end processors. The multiple processors are there. So if you want to perform, if 100 people wanted to perform on the same server, how they can able to do it? By implementing a computer networks, they will be having the access to the server. They can perform the operation over there. Okay. Next, what are the basic elements of the computer networks? So the basic elements are the end devices. Either it is a sender or the receiver. At the two ends of the network, one has to be a sender, one has to be a receiver. So it might be a computers or the laptops, mobiles, printers, etc. Whatever it might be. Either it is like servers or high-end servers, GPUs, or what it might be. Okay. So you require one sender and the receiver. Next, the transmission medium is nothing but the cable or the fiber or wireless communication. So this is one the important is. Third is network devices. So when you have been establishing the connection, we require the network devices so that the signal will be get boosted and it will be get transmitted from the one hop to the another hop to reach out to the destination. So for that reason, we will require a network devices. It might be the switches, routers, hubs, modems, what it might be. Okay, and what are these things? What are the switches, routers, and hubs, monitors? Will be discussed in the future classes. Okay. Next, network software. So this is like system software. You can say it is a you might have seen when you have been wanted to run a computer system, we require a operating system, which can be called as a system software. Okay. Similarly, we will be having a network software to establish the connection between the sender and the receiver, to make sure that the sender is not vulnerable, to make sure that data what we have received doesn't have any kind of the virus. So all these things has to be get monitored by these network softwares. That is your protocols or the operating system or the applications which has been used to establish the connection. Fine. So these are the basic elements which has been required to establish a computer network. Okay. So, and you can see that what are the different types of the networks we will be having. By the categories, we can able to categorize based upon their what you call your area, based upon the area or the longitude and latitude, or like how long these computers have been established. So based upon that, we will be establishing a different, categorizing the networks in a different ways. One is your PAN, personal area network. So this is nothing but a small network around a person, like the Bluetooth. You will be having a Bluetooth connected. All the 4 members or 5 members have been opened their Bluetooth and they wanted to share some data between them. At that time, they will be what do you call, identifying one another, and they will be sending the information through it. That is nothing but the PAN, nothing but personal area network. Okay. Next, we will be having a LAN, local area network, which is nothing but cover the small area like homes, offices, and the buildings. Within a building, if you have been connecting the multiple computing devices to one another, it will be considered as a LAN, local area network. And next is metropolitan area network, MAN, which covers a city or a large metropolitan areas. There the data transmission can be happen between them. Like if I have a one branch in Kukatpalli and one branch in Bahadurpalli something area, where these two branches wanted to share the information, or we will be having some server established between in these two particular branches, then I wanted to share the data from the one branch to another branch. At that point of time, we will be implementing the MAN. Okay. Next, we will be having a wide area network, which is considered as an internet, where we can able to establish the connection from one country to the another country, which is a wide area network, covers large area, countries, or the whole world, we can say. Okay. So these are the different categories of the networks, or we can say based upon the geographical area, we will be dividing these network into the different categories. Okay. So that is the different types of the networks we have. Yeah, you can see that. Next is network topologies, where we can able to, when you have been connecting, we have been saying that the network is a connection of the multiple devices to one another so that the data transmission can be done. But how these devices will be get established or connected to one another? So we require one framework so that these networks will be, the devices will be interconnected with one another in a such a way that the data transmission can happen very easily and there will not be any loss of the data can be get done. Okay. So because of that, we will be dividing these networks into different topologies. Okay. So network topology is the physical or the logical arrangement of the network devices and the way the links, cables, wireless connect them, and it decides how data flow in a network, how the data will be get flowed within a network, that will be get decided by these network topologies. Okay. The first one is the bus topology, where all the devices are connected to the single backbone cable. We will be having one middle or the backbone cable where all the computers will be get connected to that particular cable. So the data transmission happens through this particular backbone cable, and it will be transmitting the data to any of these particular networking devices, which are computers which has been connected in this particular network. So all the what is the advantage with this particular bus topology? It is simple and easy to install. We will be having one cable. All the devices will be connected to the one cable. That's easy to install. Second thing is less cable requirement. You don't require a more cable. It's a cost effective. As we can say that when you have been reducing the cable, automatically the cost will be get reduced. What are disadvantages? It's a backbone failure stops the whole network. If that particular backbone cable is been got damaged physically or the logically, or it might be the reason, so then the whole data communication or the transmission of the data will be get stopped. So that is one disadvantage of your bus topology, because all the devices are dependent on the only on the one cable. Okay. Next is difficult to detect the faults, because as we know that either it has been loss of the backbone or the individual device. So it is very difficult. We have to check each and every device which is connected to the backbone, and we have to check the backbone also, and where exactly the damage has been done, which part of the cable has been done, we don't know, because once any of the place the cable has been damaged, complete cable or the data communication will stops. So it is hard to detect the fault. Okay. Next is limited length of the cable and nodes. Basically we will be using it in a LAN, and as it is a limited length of the cable and nodes, so the nodes will be very limited and the cable length is also limited. In that particular area we will be using the bus topology. Next, star topology. You can see the picture over there where the centralized server is been there. It has been connected to the multiple devices. See, all the devices are connected to the control device or the hub or the switch. Fine, through the one standard cable. Okay. Next, what is the advantage? Easy to install and manage. Failure of the one link does not affect the others. So if one device got failed, it is not going to affect the others, as it is been connected with one switch. So all the devices will be transmitting the data. Only the one device will be get affected, and that device will be not sharing any information. Okay, total network will not be get affected. Okay, easy to add or remove the devices. If one detection of the problem becomes easy here, as if it is one device has been damaged, then we can replace it with the other cable or the other device. Okay. Next, what are the disadvantages? The more cable required. It is compared to the bus topology, we require a more cable. Next, central device failure stops the network. Now you can see here the problem is like when the previous example, if the backbone cable got damaged, the complete network will be collapsed. Here, if the central device, the switch got collapsed or it is not functioning, it is got damaged, then entire network will be get affected. Okay, and cost is higher than compared to the bus topology. Fine, as the cable requirement is more and the switch has been added over there, then it is been cost is increased. Next, we will be coming with a ring topology where all the devices are connected in a ring format. Okay, so each device is connected to the two other devices forming a ring. If one side of the cable got damaged, other side of the cable can be transmitting the information. That is what the main essence of the ring topology, or the main focus on the ring topology. Okay, so what are the advantages we have? Data flow in one direction or no collision. Okay, if one side got collide, we can send the data through the other side. Okay, next is equal access of all the devices. They have a equal access to all the devices. They can share the data in a bidirectional way. Next, what are disadvantages? Will be having the failure or one device may break the ring. Yeah, here if the cable is not damaged, if the particular device got damaged, then it is going to stop entire network. And adding removing devices is difficult. We can't add or remove, because when the data transmission is going on, if you have been at that point of time you have been removing, then it will be affecting entire network. Okay, next, troubleshooting is more complex. Finding out which particular device got affected, it becomes very difficult. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of the ring topology. Okay, next we have the mesh topology. So in this mesh topology, we have an advantage of every device is connected to each and every other device. So the data communication will happen very fast, and it will be, if even though the devices or the networks got affected, it can share the data in a, or it can choose any other particular communication channel, or it can transmit the data. So what are the advantages? Very reliable and fault tolerance. So it can be get back to the its normal position, even though if it got one cable got affected, it can transmit the data to the other cable. Okay, next, multiple paths for the data transmission, as we have discussed, and high security, as it is been connected to each and every device, each and everything individually, then it is having a high security. Next, what are the disadvantages we have? It is very expensive, as we require a more number of the cables and more data communication channels. It has been very expensive. Next, difficult to install and maintain. It is very difficult to install and maintain because the cables will be more, so it has been very confusing for establishing the connection. Okay, and disadvantages are very difficult to install and require more cable and ports, as we have discussed. Okay, next, tree topology. So you can see that the configuration of this network in the form of tree over there. Okay, combination of the star and bus topology arranged in a hierarchical tree structure will be considered as a tree topology, where the advantages are the scalable and very easy to expand. If new devices has been added, then we can easily add the devices into it to the switch. Okay, next, easy to manage and isolate the faults. So it becomes easy to manage the faults if it got damaged or any device got damaged. Okay, and suitable for the large networks. If you have a large network within a one organization, then you will be using a tree topology. Okay, so disadvantages are backbone failure affects the entire network. As you can see that we'll be having a 3 switches in there. In the, if one switch got damaged, entire network will be get affected. That in the small, even though if it is small network, it will be get affected and it got disconnected with the entire network. Okay, next, more cable requirement. As you know that we require more cable for the implementation of the tree topology. Next is complex configuration. So it will be a complex or what you call it's hazardous to maintain those cables and where the connection has been there, where it has been starting. So it will be somewhat complex to manage them. Okay, and the last is nothing but hybrid topology. Is a combination of one or more topologies. Either it is a tree topology or the mesh topology, or it might be a ring topology, or it is a bus topology or tree topology. So if you can able to combine multiple topologies together, it will be considered as a hybrid topology. So the advantages are the flexible, scalable, reliable and efficient, and can be designed as per requirements. So what are the all the advantages of the all the topologies available in your hybrid topology? Disadvantages: complex design and installation and costly to implement and maintain. Okay, so this is the common things which has been in data communication. We require these topologies. Okay, so this is what the comparison of these topologies, how the different topologies will be affecting with the comparison is structure, cost, reliability, installation, scalability, and best used in. So you can see that in which kind of the networks we will be using the different topologies. In a small network, we will be using the bus topology. If it is in office or the labs, we will be using the star topology. If it is a token networks or like if it has been like any token generating networks have been there, whether we will be using the ring topology or critical systems. So if it is a huge network, then it is using mesh topology, or where the accuracy and the data privacy has been more important, in that particular we will be using the mesh topologies over there. If it is a large network, we will be implementing the tree topologies. If it is a complex network, we will be using the hybrid topologies. So these are the different topologies of the data communication, and for the computer networks establishment, this is very important. Okay, thank you for today. So in the next class, we will be going to concentrate on the protocols and OSI layers, and we will discuss more about the computer networks. Thank you very much.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe VNR Digital Learning Resource YouTube channel.